The Heisman Trophy, an award created in 1935 by the Downtown Athletic Club. At the time, it was presented to the best player east of the Mississippi River. John Heisman, the trophy's namesake, passed away in 1936. After his death, the Heisman would be presented to the best player in all 50 United States. For most of history, the Heisman was given exclusively to upperclassmen, mostly seniors. In 2012, Johnny Manziel was the first freshman to take home the Heisman. Jameis Winston followed up the next season in 2013, winning the trophy as well. But both of them were redshirted and not in their true freshman seasons. It even took 73 years after the trophy's inception for a sophomore to take home the trophy, with Tim Tebow winning in 2007. Because of the upperclassmen bias in the voting, there's been countless times a more deserving player in many people's eyes didn't get the nod for the Heisman. College football experts and pundits often engage in a recurring discussion about modern-day college football players who they believe deserve the award, but were in a sense snubbed due to two primary factors. The first is the level of competition at the player's school, and the second is the player's underclassmen status. I mention all of this because there's one player who many believe should have won the Heisman in his freshman season in 2004. Future NFL Hall of Famer and the holder of many NCAA and NFL records, Adrian Peterson, also known as AD. Adrian Peterson was a consensus 5-star prospect coming out of Palestine, Texas. AD was already 6'2" and was a speed demon as well, posting Olympic-level track times in his senior season. But we all know by now he would carve out one of the best running back careers in history. Adrian rushed for video game numbers in his senior season at Palestine, tallying almost 3,000 yards rushing and crossing the goal line 32 times in his final season of high school. National championship contenders across the country were vying for the man-child services, but it was Oklahoma who struck gold and beat out USC for the future football legend. One of the most interesting facts about his freshman season at Oklahoma is that head coach Bob Stoops and the Sooner staff had a non-contact jersey made for the spring game in 2004
to ensure their prized back wouldn't sustain an injury before the nation could take notice of his ability.
Fast forward to the fall, and Peterson would put up video game numbers early, running for 400 yards and punching in 5 touchdowns in a 3-game non-conference slate.
On October 9th, in a 12-0 win against the Texas Longhorns,
AD ran for 225 yards on 32 carries.
3 weeks later, he would set a career high in a 38-35 Bedlam win against Oklahoma State, rushing for 249 yards to go with a score on the ground.
By the end of the regular season, AD is leading the conference in rushing yards, with 1,843 yards and 15 rushing touchdowns to boot. Adrian's name was being mentioned in Heisman conversations nationally, along with his quarterback Jason White, who won the trophy the year previous. There's only been one 2-time Heisman Trophy winner in Archie Griffin from Ohio State and 0 underclassmen. USC quarterback Matt Leinart and teammate running back Reggie Bush are also neck and neck in the race. We all know by now that Reggie Bush would win in 2005, but not this year. This year his quarterback is the Heisman. And by all means, Matt Leinart had a great year statistically, completing 65% of his passes and tossing 33 touchdowns to 6 picks for 3,300 yards. I'm not quite saying Matt didn't deserve to win or that Adrian was so much more deserving, but what I am saying is that rushing for nearly 2,000 yards in your freshman campaign and leading the country in carries is something almost unheard of. And just to dive a little bit deeper, the season prior to his arrival in Norman, the Sooners had averaged just shy of 150 rushing yards per game. After his freshman season concluded,
that average moved up to 210, almost a 60-yard difference. I'm not quite sure Matt Leinart was as valuable to USC as Adrian Peterson was to Oklahoma. If you're familiar with the story by now, Matt Leinart and USC would go on to beat down Oklahoma in the BCS National Championship game. The Heisman conversation had all but diminished. It took a couple of years for the discourse about the Heisman race to resurface, and for what I believe is good reason. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Deuce.